Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Well, I'm out here this morning and just had a couple things to talk about. I got my coffee, my coffee right here, my SeaWorld cup. Drinking a little bit of coffee, smoking me a cigarette. Don't really need them, but I need them. Uh, I want to tell everybody to send out some prayers for David McCard. I heard he's got the sea issue. So if you would say a prayer for him, and tell him if you can to get well. We hope he gets better because we need that guy. That guy, he makes some good videos and he tells some truth, and we need him. We need him in good shape, And I just pray that everything's going to be fine with him and stuff. I was wanting to talk today about, I was at work yesterday, and I got on my work van at lunchtime, and there was a black guy sitting on a picnic table, and I was walking over by the guys because I talked to some of the railroad guys, and this guy looked at me. He says, "Oh, you got it made." He says, "Big money." And I said, "What do you mean, big money?" He's like, "Look, you got a nice gold necklace, and you just got it made." And I said, "Man," I said, "I ain't nobody." I said, "I ain't got nothing made, man. I work just like you do." I said, I work for what I have, and that's just all there is to it." I said, I don't try to compare myself to other people. And I said, "Nah, man, I'm not big money. I'm just a regular working guy like everybody else." So he wanted to talk about religion. So he was talking about religion, and he said to me, about the Bible. And I asked him, I said, "Well, what denomination are you? So I can understand where he's coming from, because I know there's different ones, and people have a little bit different beliefs and stuff like that." Well, he wouldn't tell me what Bible that he reads from. So I told him, I said, "Well, the Bible I read from is King James Version of the Bible, And I just bought a new Bible because I couldn't find my other Bible, so I had to buy a new one, which this one's really nice. I can read it real well, and it's got the big letters. Got it for about $45. It's a really nice one. So anyway, he's talking to me, and he basically said he didn't believe in heaven. And I said, "Well, buddy, I don't know what Bible you read." I said, "But the Bible I read talks about heaven." And I said, "And that's where God's at, and that's where my family and people that's passed away, that's where they're at right now, And it was like he was wanting to argue with me, And when a person does that and wants to argue with you and really push what they're saying, and they want to hear what you're saying too, it's almost like they're hungry for some information in the Word, even if they don't say it. They kind of want it, They kind of want that. And so I talked with him, and I said, I don't know which Bible you read, but he was talking about, God, not being able to see God. Well, I don't. We don't. You don't see God, and it's and this and that. I said, "Well, you don't see God." I said, "But that's faith. You have to have faith in the Word." And just because you don't see something doesn't mean it don't exist. I said, "You ever seen $1,000 bill?" And he said, "Well, no." And this guy's 60 years old. This wasn't no young man. It was a black man who was 60 years old. And he said, "No, I ain't never seen $1,000 bill." I said, "Well, there's such thing as $1,000 bill." I said, "Just because you never seen one doesn't mean it don't exist." And I said, "How do you know there's such thing as wind? And air?" I said, "You can't see it, but you know it's there. When it's blowing on your face, or you see the trees move, back and forth when the wind blows, it's there." And he was like, it kind of opened his eyes up about stuff, and he kind of kept on a little bit with it and stuff. And then he went over to basically talking about the police, how the police are corrupt, and they always mess with him and in his neighborhood all the time. And he lives in the same town I do. He just lives in a different section of town than I do. And I told him, I said, "Well," I said, you know, a lot of times the reason why people get pulled over is because they're doing something wrong or they're just being stupid. I said, if you go down the road booming music, you got these 22-inch rims on your car, you're smoking a joint, you're driving like an idiot, you're causing attention to yourself, you're doing stuff wrong. I said, of course the cops are going to pull you over. And you're in a neighborhood where there's a lot of drugs and there's a lot of people doing stuff that ain't right. I said, of course people are going to get messed with. I said, but you know, having cops and law enforcement is a good thing. I said, you know, what would you do? I told him, I said, what would you do if you didn't have law enforcement? He said, well, I'd just handle it myself. I said, oh, yeah, it's okay. I said, well, how many guns do you own? He said, well, I don't own no guns. I said, well, how you going to protect yourself? You don't even own a gun, man. And he's like, well, I got a machete and I got a knife. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I said, that if there's no law, I said, do you imagine the havoc it would be, you know, in your neighborhood and in the city where we live? I said, it would be off the chain, man. You know, and I'm talking to him just like I'm talking to y'all and trying to get him to understand some stuff and, you know, see where he's at with stuff. And I told him, I said, you know, our law enforcement, our police and cops and sheriffs and stuff, I said, them people are heroes. I said, because you could call them up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, and say, I have a problem. They're going to come. They're going to come to you. And they're gonna face whatever issues going on, whether somebody's breaking in your house or your house is on fire or somebody's trying to hurt you or whatever. They're going to come to your house. And they're not going to run from whatever situation they get into at the house, you know, or wherever they show up at. They're not going to run from it. They're going to address it. And I said, you know, a lot of people act like the cops are bad. I said, but you know, the first time that you know, something wrong goes, people call the law and they jump on the phone and call the law because you know what? They know they're going to show up. They know they're going to handle the issue. They're going to help them. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, it ain't about white thing or black thing when it comes to law enforcement. I said, you know, if you called I told him, I said, if you called the sheriff or the cops and they showed up at your house and your house is on fire and your family's in there, they'll run in that house. They'll risk their lives to save your family. You know, and I said, just like 9/11, when them firefighters and some civilians and police officers, they ran in them buildings. Some of them, I think, probably knew what the outcome would be, but they didn't care because they were saving lives. And they were risking their lives for others. I said, so you can't talk bad about law enforcement because they're here and they're willing to risk themselves for you. So it made him wonder. I seen his wheels in his head working, you know, when I said that, and it kind of sunk in a little bit. And I talked with him the day before, and I might have mentioned it on one of the videos. I talked with him, but the next day, that morning, before I talked to him about all this I'm talking to you about, he told me, he says, Philip, he said exactly what you said. He said it makes sense about the Joe Biden thing, about him watching the videos about Joe Biden and some of the stuff he was saying about 20 or 25 years ago. I said, he's the racist. He's the one that talks bad about black people. I said, but y'all vote Democrat all the time. So he did come up to me that morning and say that, but that evening it's like he wanted to fuss about the Bible and he wanted to fuss about the police officers and say that the police officers are bad and this and that. And it's the thing about people are, my dad used to say, you know, the older you get, the smarter you're supposed to get. He said that ain't always the case. You know, you got a 60-year-old man that believes this foolishness. You know, how many of his kids that he raised in his family, you know, his children, what did he teach them? Did he teach them the same kind of crap that he believes? You know, and that's the problem. Is some of these people indoctrinate their kids and teach them this, and we wonder why we got kids out there right now that believes a bunch of foolishness. It's because their parents teach foolishness, you know. And if their parents think foolish and they teach the kid foolish, then you got a kid that's foolish, you know. And it's like a chain reaction. But you know, I felt like I needed to talk to him. I know he was a little abrasive and stuff, but what was funny is when he was walking back over to the crew truck, there was a black guy in there, and I can't remember his name, but he talks to me. He's a level-headed guy, and he looks at the guy and he goes like this. He goes, "Man, I don't know about you," he said, "but I love me some Donald Trump." He said, "I love some Donald Trump." He said, "I don't trust that damn Biden." And I looked at him, I said, "You got that right." And it was funny because hearing that come out of a black man's mouth is really funny, you know. It's because he was basically telling the other guy, you know, that he likes Trump, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. And I know there's a lot of Trump supporters that are black. I'm not saying that. There's a lot that's out there, but for him to do that, that was pretty cool of him. And he said, the guy also said, he says, "Philip, you right. King James Version Bible, you right." And I said, yeah. Yeah, I heard about this morning. We're getting on another subject. I heard about this morning that the San Francisco mayor has got all these mask mandates over in the city and stuff. And she got caught on video dancing at like a nightclub with no mask on or nothing. It's like, look, these people, these rich people, and these people that are over, you know, like mayors and these high up officials and stuff, they're telling y'all and us to do certain things, and they're not following it. So people got to wake up with that, man. You got to wake up. They're going to tell you to do something, and they're going to do the opposite. That's crazy, you know. I mean, years ago, I'll tell you a little story. Years ago, my stepdad, he worked at a video store. He worked at a video store, and in the back of the store, they had X-rated videos. So you had to be a certain age to go back there and look at them videos and rent them, you know, get the box you wanted, and he'd get the video for you. And that's when it was VHS tapes. Well, what's kind of funny is the preacher that had the church across the road, he'd come over there. And I've seen this from my own eyes. So it ain't like that I'm second hearing the story. I was in the video store at the time looking at the games because I liked the Nintendo games back then, you know. And my stepdad was working the counter because he worked the store by himself. So I seen the preacher come in. I knew who it was. And I seen him go in that back room. And as a kid, I knew what the back room had. I didn't go back there, but I knew that it was what it, you know, about it. I wasn't a little kid. I was, you know, probably a mid-teenager. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, that's the preacher across the road, man. I said, he's going in there to get some grilly movies. I was like, that's kind of weird. I said, because he, you know, you think about it, you know, on Sunday and stuff, he's telling people to do the right things and to follow the Lord and you know, and don't lust and all that stuff. And he's sitting here, you know, he's doing it, but yet he's telling the people to do this. So it reminds me a lot of what these high up officials are doing. They're telling people to do certain things, but they're not following it, you know. And that's very hypocritical, you know, for a person to do that. And that's evil anyway to me. But man, I try not to judge too many people. I really don't. I'm not a person that, you know, if you make choices in your life, I make choices in my life. When it comes to the abortion thing, I think that's totally evil. You know, I think that is really evil, you know, and it ain't right. I mean, Joe Biden says he's a Christian. How the hell is he a Christian? You know, how can he say that? You say you're Catholic and you believe in abortions and you push all this evilness? Buddy, you don't have a clue. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. But, you know, God will deal with you. But, you know, today is supposed to be the day that the people are going to protest D.C., you know, and I almost want to say a prayer for them. And I think about them because, you know, if good people go up there and they just want to protest for the people that's still in jail, which I don't understand that, man. Anybody that comes, let's say somebody comes on my property and it's a trespass. For one thing, when the cops show up, they're going to warn me warn the person that's trespassing that they can't come back and get off the property. They're gonna warn them. Okay. Now there was some people that tore some stuff up in the Capitol building and stuff like that. Now they'll get more charges, because they broke stuff and they went inside and this and that. But you can also look at it as too. It's our house. We paid for all that. So it's kind of like, but why is our government holding people on basically just a trespassing charge? Man, that should be something. Okay, you get locked up, you bail out, you get a court date. They're going to try to prove the case on you and prosecute you for what you did and have proof and this and that, and then you're going to get your lawyer or you're going to represent yourself, whatever, and you're going to do your stuff, But it's just foolish for them people to be locked up like that for that long. And man, that's crazy, I said, but them people up there for that rally though, they better watch it. I think there's a lot of underhand stuff that's going to happen. You might have some bad actors that might dress up like certain people, Trump people or whatever, and they might do stupid stuff. And of course, the Trump supporters will be blamed for it, like everything else is blamed for. So I say for them people that's up there now, they need to really watch themselves and be careful. I really think if they see somebody doing something wrong, as the people up there, doing the peaceful rally or whatever, if they see a person, my bad, I bumped the camera. But if they see somebody doing something wrong or doing something out of order, I think the people need to straighten them out, hold them down, citizens arrest them, whatever they need to do, and let the law take care of them. To kind of police themselves, and that'll kind of show. But there's in this world, man, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, a lot of news every day. Y'all see it, I see it. Just like with the Australians wanting our technology to build the subs or whatever for them, and now France is all mad, and I guess the ambassador for France left the United States to go back to France, and they're kind of PO'd about it. I heard that story too. I don't know much about that kind of stuff, y'all. I just hear some of the news that's out there, and I watch a little bit of everything, so I try to get a feel on everybody's situation on that kind of stuff. Let me light my cigarette. So, as patriots and stuff, I know we need to stand up. We need to do the right thing, but don't let this stuff drive you crazy. It'll drive you crazy if you watch the news and see all the stuff that's going on, and you love this country. It bothers you. It does. It bothers me too. I get bothered with it. Friends of mine that I know and that I'm good friends with, it bothers them real bad, especially the veterans and stuff like that. This bothers people, that love the country. There's some people out there they're not paying attention, and they just live their normal lives, but. So we need to just stick together, take a breath, watch what's going on, and really, and just talk to people out there. Tell them, like I was telling the guy at the work, get your word out there, speak your mind, speak what you feel. It's going to make sense. If it's the right thing, it's going to make sense, and nobody that thinks foolishly is going to have a leg to stand on when you give them facts and you give them, true stuff that makes sense. So I think you're out there that the people will it will be straightened out. I just don't know when it'll be straightened out or how it'll be straightened out. I think that it's happening. You're hearing a lot of stories in the news. I don't know how many of them are true or how many of them are false. I don't know. It could be more smoke and mirrors. Y'all know that's going on, and I said in the last video, a lot of smoke and mirrors, and that's true. I would say for a lot of people out there, if you have kids or whatever, you need to teach them things. A lot of people these days don't teach their kids nothing. They give a computer or a phone to them and let them go. I think you need to spend time with your family and teach your kids stuff, and Put your kids in the stuff that's going to help them. Like I'm a firm believer of kids needs to go in martial arts. It teaches them discipline. It teaches them respect. It teaches them to be able to defend themselves, and that's a good thing. I've seen a lot of kids do really well in that. You know, kids that had trouble backgrounds that didn't listen or got in trouble at school, and we used to have them kids come into the school I went to train in martial arts, and they would come in there and they would excel. You would be surprised. When we first seen certain kids come through there, we're like, oh man, this kid is so bad, and then they get in there and they learn. They learn. So we need to teach our kids stuff, and that's a good thing. Martial arts, it teaches them a lot: discipline, respect. It teaches them, to good things that kids need to learn. And teach your kids how to fish. Teach them how to hunt. Teach them about the right way to hold guns and to have gun safety, and teach your kids things. I mean, a lot of times my daughter is over here. I'll say, okay, I'm going to do this. You come out here and help me. Like I was teaching her to mow the yard. And it was funny because she got there and mowed the yard, and she mowed about, I give her a little square. I started her off in a square, and I helped mow, got her started to mow. And I got a brand new push mower. So I told her to put on her shoes on because she had flip-flops on. So go put your shoes on. I said, if you're going to mow the yard, you can't do it in flip-flops. And she gets out there and she mows for about 10 or 15 minutes, And she gets done with the part that she was doing, and she says, Daddy, oh man, this is hard work right here. I'm sweating. I said, it's good for you to sweat. I said, that's good for you. I said, it's good. Sweating's good for you. And it's teaching you, you're learning stuff and you're working. You're out here in the yard. It's good for you to get exercise and get the sun on you. And I said, it's good for you. And she's like, Daddy, it's so hot out here. It's hard to breathe out here. And I said, well, like Grandmaster used to tell me, my sensei, he said, breathing's overrated. He said, you don't have to breathe. This is what he used to tell me. And I still remember this day, man. He'd have us doing all kind of stuff. And, man, it was so hard to breathe. And you were sucking air. Your mouth was wide open, just sucking air. And he'd look at you and say, hey, you don't have to breathe. He said, you don't have to breathe to live. You don't have to breathe. So you're over there just, you're over there just dying. But, today's people, we wonder why our country's in such bad shape. It's because of the morals. I mean, look at it. We took God out of schools. They unpatriotic people. I mean, there's people that hate this country. They live in this country and they get all the benefits of this country, but they hate the country, And it's like, man, I don't understand people. I really don't. But I think it's because of the morals. I mean, you look at it now. You go on Facebook, or you go on Twitter, or you go on any of these social medias, man. You won't believe what some of these people are doing on there. And last night I went on Amazon, and I don't usually like messing with Amazon, but they sell a lot of stuff. So I went on Amazon, and I'm looking for a pocket knife. Now I already told the story to one of my buddies, so he already knows it. And I'm going to try to be as clean as I can with telling y'all the story. So I go on the Amazon website and I put in pocket. Well, as soon as I put in pocket, you know how to pull up everything that has something that pertains to pocket? Well, it said the word pussycat. It said pocket pussycat. And I'm like, what the? I was like, man, that thing, it's got that kind of stuff in here? And I was like, no. Because I heard Amazon block certain books, like right-wing books and stuff like that. So I was like, no, there ain't no way they got that stuff on here. I hit the button just to see, buddy, did they have a list of that kind of stuff? I mean, the smuttiest stuff you ever seen. Stuff that I was like, I'm a grown man, and I was like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. And my girlfriend, Stacy, y'all know Stacy. I said, Stacy, you won't believe what they got on here. I said, girl, you won't believe it. She's like, what? I was like, look. She's like, oh my God. I said, yeah, for only $38 you could have one of them. And she's like, man, this is crazy. I said, yeah, it is, because Amazon doesn't allow certain books to be sold, or certain things, on that they sell, they'll block, like, right, like Donald Trump stuff, or Confederate flag and stuff like that. You can't buy that stuff, but yet I can go on Amazon and I can buy some stuff that's like that, and I'm like, buddy, stuff is messed up. I mean, I've went on Facebook before, and I usually don't go on there a whole lot. Um, and I've seen, I hit live because I want to see what's going on. Like, it'll show like the riots going on in Portland, and live stuff will be going on. And I've hit that live button before and went down the thing, and there's girls on there that's like totally naked. Like, totally naked. There ain't nothing blocked out. There ain't nothing censored. It's showing everything. Chinese girls, white girls, everything on there. And it's showing the whole deal. And I'm like, they're blocking us because they don't want to hear us say certain words about certain things, or we bring up the Vaseline, or we bring up about the thing that didn't go, that somebody was underhanded about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's like they won't have that stuff up there. They got this smut up there. I was like, oh, man, it's just something. And but the thing about it is I think, Facebook can be a good tool, and YouTube can be a good tool because it gets the words and stuff out there. But the thing about it is really, since they want to do this to us, really, if we want to stand up to them, we can stop using it. Because you don't need Facebook to live. You don't need YouTube to live. It's like the fake news. The fake news is on every day. If we stop watching them, we stop dealing with them, guess what? They'll go out of business. But people are so used to it. People are so used to, it's like addicted. They're addicted. Every time you look, you see somebody dead in the phone all the time. They can't get off the phone. The phone rings, or they got some message, they go crazy. And it's like, man, this world is just something else. And I try to be positive about it. I try to think about it and stuff, but man, it's crazy stuff going on. But I would say, to everybody out there, just stay positive. Trust in the Lord. Stay positive. Spend some time with your family. Love your family. Love people and treat people good. The thing about it is, when somebody in public is mad, or they just want to be real crazy or whatever, what solves it a lot of times? When somebody's like angry, what solves it? You say, look, I love you. I love you no matter what. I love you as a person. I love you. It throws them off. They don't know what to do. They could be the maddest person in the world, but if you say, look, man, and really mean it, say, look, I love you as a person, man. I love you. I said, it fixes them. They don't know what to do. When you say that, they don't know what to do. It throws them off. And kill people with kindness. If somebody's being nasty to you, or they're being out of the way with you, kill them with kindness. And my mom used to say all the time, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Where's all these things that we were brought up with, and all these sayings and things we were taught when we were younger. They're not getting passed down to the kids that are nowadays. They're not being told this kind of stuff, like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. The sayings like that. When I was a kid, we had a lot of, your parents had a lot of sayings, and stuff like that. It's just, it ain't being taught. There's just stuff is not being taught, and the morals of people has just went downhill so much, and it's sickening to know that's going on, that the world is getting so crazy. But it's just like our Constitution and our Bill of Rights and Constitution and our forefathers. This country was built on Christianity. These guys believe that. So for us as a country, and a lot of people out here, to pull away from that, it's pulling away from what this country was built on. It's foolish, man. But I have one thing to say out there. Like I said, I did martial arts for a long time. A little tip for women out there. If you go somewhere, you got to get out your car. you don't have no weapon, you don't carry a gun or nothing like that, get you a Sharpie marker, just a regular Sharpie marker, and just put it in your hand. Like if you go to get out your car and you're in like an area that's kind of a little rough, or you think that, because a lot of times you can kind of feel it when something ain't right. Get that Sharpie and put it in your hand, and just hold it in your hand and put your purse on your, and hold that Sharpie. That Sharpie right there is a bad weapon, man. And when a person grabs you or tries to take advantage of you, you use that Sharpie. You hit them in the throat with it. You hit them in the eye with it. You hit them behind the ear or in a soft spot with that Sharpie. Man, that's a weapon. It's a big time weapon. If you don't have a Sharpie and you got your car keys and you just get out your car, take your car keys and put it between your fingers. And if a man grabs you, get him. Hit him in the eye with it. He'll leave you alone. But that's kind of a little tip that a lot of people don't know about, and maybe some out there already know that kind of stuff. But that's just something out there to put out there for the women out there to protect yourself and just be, cognitive of the areas that you go in. I know me, I won't go up to a gas station. They got a lot of riffraff going up there. I'll drive 2 miles and get down the road somewhere else. I ain't going where there's riffraff. A lot of riffraff, people acting stupid. I ain't walking in that situation. And I don't care if I had 4 guns on me. And I'm a big guy, but you know what? That don't mean nothing. But everybody out there, happy Saturday. Hope you all have a good Saturday. And I want to make a shout out to Donald Wisman. Watch his channel. Subscribe to him. 2 Dumbass Farmers. Subscribe to them and watch their channel. They're great guys. All these guys are great patriots. To Mark Hatfield, I love you, brother. If y'all don't know who Mark Hatfield is, go look him up on YouTube. And he also does Facebook. He's got some good words and some true words. He spits a lot of the truth, y'all. And I think a lot of people need to hear it. And Waterbugs 68. Waterbug 68 now. If you go in there late, you better be ready, because they talk about all kind of stuff over there, y'all. So, he's a good guy, but they really get into some conversations over there. But he's a real good guy and patriot guy too, and I want to support him too. But us patriots, we got to support each other, and we like hearing from the people. Now tomorrow night at 7:00, Donald Wisman on YouTube will have a live video. And you can actually call in and give your point of views and stuff, and you can hear from patriots and people around the country and talk about different issues. Now, the video at the end of the show, or the end of the video, he will take down because it gets heated. There's certain things that's said on there by the patriots and about people that if he leaves it up there, they'll gig him for it on YouTube. So go tomorrow night, 7:00, Donald Wisman's channel, and watch it, call in, join the patriots, and let's unite and talk about things. It kind of helps when you talk about things too, because it gets it off your mind, and you can see where other people stand too, and know that you're not the oddball, that everybody else thinks the same thing too. So do that. I want everybody to say prayers for David McCard. He's going through the sea, and we hope for him to get better. Hope everything goes good for him and he's take care of himself, maybe rest a little bit, because I know he's a hard-working man. Any farmer that's out there is a hard-working person. Y'all don't know no real work till you're a farmer out there, So say prayers for him. If you know him, send him a message or something. Tell him to get well and stuff. We want him better. We got to have him back in the lineup. Pastor Steve, Pastor Steve is a good preacher and a patriotic preacher. And Faith Chapel Ministries, if you go on Facebook, look under Faith Chapel Ministries, you could go to his site, and he does lives on there, and he does preaches the word, and he tells it like it is. He's not going to sugarcoat it for you. So if you want the real truth, and maybe get your feelings hurt a little bit, but it's the truth, and you need to hear it anyway, it's good for you. It's just like medicine. Remember when your mama said this medicine's good for you, and it might taste bad, but it's good for you? That's what you need. So make sure you check him out, Pastor Steve Warren at Faith Chapel Ministries. So we love you guys. I'll be doing more videos. I just want to figure out which kind of videos I want to do. Maybe y'all guys can let me know in my comments. You know, like what would you want to see? Would you want to see some more firearms, or you want to just kind of tell me what you think that would be a good show? Because I have a lot of things to talk about. It's just I want to make sure that I'm making it for what most of the viewers want to see. So just hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think. If you like my videos, subscribe to them. I really appreciate you guys. You guys make my channel. Without you, I wouldn't have a channel. And share and subscribe and everything. So I tell you what, have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Watch your six. Love somebody out there. If you got loved ones, tell them you love them. You don't know when it's going to be the last time that you'll be able to tell them that. Sometimes you don't get the opportunity to tell them that. But take care of yourselves out there, and I will talk to y'all later. See ya.